Okay, folks, so we've got one thing to discuss. Our BRDS trade idea is in its second day of surging, and as I make this video, it's in a little bit of a take-profit cycle. What do I see next for it, and what are some potential price levels to keep in mind, and can this rebound? What are some opportunities it has in the future, and what are some risks that could bring it down and completely derail this stock? We're going to present the setup, and then you be the judge. Let's get right into it. Timestamps down below. Okay, so what a bad girl. She was really doing a lot of rallitos and dumpy dubitos, but she came out pretty solid overall. In full context, on Monday, March 27th, we made a video breakdown on BRDS. We explained how the short setup, their cash position, insider buying in previous history led me to believe that they are one of the best short squeeze setups in the market right now, and at the time it was trading at about 13 to 14 cents. And we laid out the path of resistance levels and proof of concept it would need to really squeeze. So far, it fulfilled most of those. It broke through the first resistance level at 18, then 25, then 27, and made it as far as 30 at the time of shooting this video, which means this is officially now a more than double from our original call out price, and a big testament to how important it is to do some really deep dives and research on these stocks and in a timely manner. Shout out to folks who played this successfully so far, but what about moving forward? Well, notice when you look at the 5-minute chart, it's held its direction the entire time. Sure, it's had its breathing cycles, but it still managed to hold the overall direction and reject a strong directional push downward. That's a lot of proof of concept right there, right? It's a lot easier to trade stocks when they're going in the direction that is in your favor, right? And if that overall direction can continue and we can stay above that red directional, well, all of a sudden, it's going to be very easy for higher and higher highs to be made. Now, the current dip cycle as I shoot this video may break that, and that would be a big deprecating factor, but it wouldn't necessarily derail it. Watch carefully to see how fast this can bounce up and find a new bottom, because that is going to tell you whether or not you could see another massive breakout. Okay, let's go ahead and move over to Ortex. So the short situation here is heating up massively. There's been a bit of a flipperoo. Shorts were closing yesterday, helping to accelerate yesterday's run, but today they went back to opening new short positions and short interest has gone up. The little rascals were trying to dump down on the stock rally so much, but it just would not budge. The price just wouldn't budge. It wouldn't move in their favor, at least not until later on in the day when weakness started showing. I think a lot of the reason that there was weakness was because a lot of people were jumping back to TRKA, which had a buyout offer from GNS, but that's a whole other story. But why would shorts run for the hill yesterday and then today flip-flop and start shorting again? Well, probably because they are backed into a corner. When you're in a corner with a huge short position and the stock is just beginning to go up, well, if you decide to close more by buying back shares, it's going to accelerate the uptrend and increase the odds of a squeeze. Whereas if you decide to dump more on it, aka short more, you may be able to suppress the squeeze and kill off the momentum before it becomes a bigger problem. So yesterday, with smaller momentum, a lot of shorts made the calculus that it made sense to close out, that the stock price would be able to just simply absorb the shock from them closing and not risk their rest of their short position. Today, they made the judgment call that the right move is to dump as much as they can onto the stock. And remember, shorts were operating under the assumption that all of the good news from the earnings and insider buys, which caused this rally here, would just get thrown under the rug and the price would just eventually get totally buried. And the last couple of days have shown shorts, no, you're wrong. And you've now left yourself open to massive backfiring risk. So anyways, what do I see coming here? Well, shorts are going to likely continue to open up more short positions, allowing more shares to be dumped onto the market, and the squeeze game will be on if this momentum can keep fighting them off. This dip cycle right now is going to be very telling. Open up the chart after you watch this video, whether it's today, tomorrow, the next day, and see how this dip is holding up. Is it able to bounce from these levels? Is it able to find a bottom that doesn't completely derail the previous gains? And if this dip ends up quickly rebounding, well, where's that next dip coming in, and is that able to hold the momentum? I want to see another massive dip and recovery like we had into open today, where it popped from 27 cents to 20 cents and then just completely rejected the directional SMA breach and bounced back up to 30. That is the kind of directional strength that really causes a lot of FOMOers in and really helps squeeze the shorts out. So far, they're increasing positions, but at a certain point, they're going to be so weakened if this keeps going up that they're not going to be increasing positions anymore. They're going to go ahead and start covering, and that's going to cause the squeezy McSqueezy. My opinion, of course, I could be wrong, but that is just my view on this right now. Now, where is BRDS going next? Well, BRDS has had a nice increase in volume the last couple of trading days, and that has been upward sentiment as it's driven the move upward. But volume tends to, as you know, die off in small caps by the end of the week. Thursdays are pretty damn quiet. Fridays are very quiet. So I'm expecting less volume, and because the volume has been associated with upward sentiment, pushing the price up, well, I would also expect less support for the momentum and shorts to really grab onto the opportunity to just really dump onto this price. But if you're looking at this for another cycle play, what you have to be thinking about right now is, okay, well, can it fight off those shorts? Can it come back swinging on Monday and Tuesday? And I think after it has its big dumpy Dabito cycle, again, whether that happens today, tomorrow, or the next day, well, whenever that happens, the key here is, okay, well, when is it going to bottom and when are you going to see another rebound attempt? And I'm thinking Monday or Tuesday. And like I said earlier this week, I continue to believe that a run towards 45 cents, 46 cents is a high possibility, especially now that we have this proof of concept. That said, as always, I have to harp on risk management. It's not a question of if these stocks are going to go down and if they're going to go down dramatically, but when. If you're somebody that has this idea that the stock has to just keep running to the moon and never push back, well, just stop it. My suggestion is a trailing stop loss, some form of SMA line exit point, something that allows you to get out with some profit and or protect your downside risk, right? The other factor here that I do want to discuss briefly is the evil D word. Now, on Monday, I presented to you why I felt that BRDS is unlikely to dilute, their cash position being a big one. They don't really need the money. It's worth mentioning too that this company hasn't been very dilutive in its history, and Dilution Tracker says its overall risk is low and offering ability is also low. On top of that, BRDS has had many spikes in history and they didn't dilute them into the ground. So it's unlikely, based on that logic, that they're going to go and do it this time it has a spike. However, at the same time, the more the stock price goes up, the more management might be thinking, hey, maybe it's time to start offering some shares. Maybe it's time to lock in these prizes for our own selves. I mean, TRKA was a big example of this. We had called out the play almost perfectly at around 30 cents and it ran to 99 cents, but then you got hit with a sketchy emergency dilution filing and an expansion of the available share count after a conversion of certain classes, which just like totally freaked out markets. Total shite show. Today, TRKA is up a lot on a GNS buyout offer that's being spread around by Mr. Roger James Hamilton. But again, in terms of the reflection on that previous play, the recap there, that is basically what happened, right? You had this dilution scare. So that is the biggest thing that you got to worry about when it comes down to any stock that's run this much is, okay, well, is the management going to figure out a way to finagle themselves some value out of this run? My guess is that due to their high cash liquidity situation, it is not in their advantage to do that. But again, you never know, and we don't control them. But anyways, folks, so far it's been a very solid play, and congratulations if you played it well. But the way that I look at this moving forward, if you're trying to think about whether or not you should take another position, whether or not you should stay in a position, whether or not it's even worth watching anymore, well, the way that I would look at this is it's going to have a big dip cycle at some point. It could be this point, it could be tomorrow, so on and so forth. But the saying of it's not how you fall, but how you get back up again is going to ring very true. If this can fall down 25, 30, 40% in a period and then bottom out and rebound a few periods later, well, that is going to be a massive proof of concept for the rest of the market. And then you could start seeing this get on that top list of gainers again sometime, maybe Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So again, it's still atop my radar as one of the top ideas. It's already been very successful. So that's why I'm urging caution. The more it runs, the more downside potential you have, and the easier it is to just completely evaporate shareholder value. So those are some things to keep in mind. Anyways, folks, I hope you found value in this video, and we will see you in the next one. Make sure to hit that ravishing like button and subscribe, and we appreciate your support.